Hello, good morning. Happy Thursday. I had a brain cramp. You know how that goes. I hope everything is going well. It has been an interesting week. Hold on. Y'all know I'm multitasking. Okay, so I am putting the link to book your tax consult. Okay, great. So when you pop on, let me know who you are and where you're from. And if you're watching the recording, thank you very much. And feel free to skip ahead about a minute to get to the content. I told you it's been crazy this week, but that's just the way it is. Okay. I want to welcome you to the Daily Revision Morning Show. My name is Lysandra Everett, and I'm your host. I am here Monday through Friday, 9 o'clock-ish. And when you tune into my show, you're going to hear about various topics. You're going to hear a lot about taxes, as I am a tax professional. You will also hear about life stuff. We talk about business, we talk about leadership, and just how to do this whole thing called life better. Today's topic, good morning, Crystal. Today's topic is about the Military Spouse Residency Relief Act. I don't know why they cannot call these things something much shorter, but especially when it comes to the military, we speak in acronyms, so I'm sure it's the MSRRA. All right, but what is this? The Military Spouse Residency Relief Act was passed, I want to say, in 2009, and prior to this act, whenever military spouses moved, they paid state taxes wherever they lived. However, in 2009, when this act was passed and made law, it allowed military spouses to pay taxes based on their home of record. For instance, if your home of record is Texas and you move to a state that has no state income tax, such as if you move to a state that has income tax, let's say Maryland, for instance. All right. So with the Relief Act, you would be entitled to a refund of your state taxes from Maryland because your home state does not have state taxes. Okay. Because Texas has no state taxes. Prior to that, you just had to pay taxes wherever you worked. But now with this act, you're entitled to a refund of those taxes, but there are some stipulations, okay? So the first thing is that you have to be a military spouse stationed in that state with your spouse, okay? So for instance, if you live in Maryland and you get married, then all of a sudden you're not entitled to receive those state taxes back, okay? You have to move with your spouse. Now, if you live in a state, if your home of record is in a state, let's say Maryland, because that's on my brain, right? And you move to another state that has state taxes, let's call that Tennessee, all right? So then it's up to you to decide who's going to be cheaper. Right? Would it be cheaper for you to file your taxes in your home of record and pay your income tax there? Or would it be cheaper in Tennessee? That's the bonus, because it's not that you just move and you're automatically entitled to get your state taxes back, but you do get the choice as to whether you're going to pay in that current state or if you're going to pay in your home of record. And whichever one is cheaper is what you're going to do. So for instance, I want to say Maryland has a 2% income tax starting out, where another state might have 3.5%. So it may come out cheaper for you to file on your home of record. But you have to, you have to move with your spouse. It's not that the other thing is that you don't automatically adopt your spouse's home of record. So one of the things that you can do in the military is, as a soldier, you can change your home of record to whatever you want. Okay. But because you're marrying that spouse does not mean that you automatically adopt their home of record. Okay. So it really just depends on where you are when you meet your spouse, right? And you get married. So that's not something that you just arbitrarily choose. You don't get to just say, okay, my home of record this year is Texas, next year is Florida, next year is Washington State, all of those states that have zero state income tax. Okay. But you don't automatically adopt that as a military spouse. So the benefit to the military spouse is that if you move with your spouse and you work and you move to a state that may have a lower income tax, you will file state taxes there. Or if your home of record state has a lower income tax, then you would be entitled to a refund of the state where you're working, and then you pay your state where your home for your home of record. Now, that is going to require you to file two state taxes. You would file a non-resident for the state where you're working, and then you would file in your state. Okay. So that's something to think about as well, because that might be an additional cost, and you have to figure out really if altogether it's worth it for you. But just know that this Relief Act is out there for military spouses to take advantage of. And, as a military spouse, a lot of things have changed for us over the past few years, where we're now able to draw unemployment where we weren't able to before. I remember, I was so angry. I left a job in California because I needed to move with my husband, and I filed for unemployment, right? I filed for unemployment while I was in that transition phase, so I would have some income. And they sent me a letter and told me that moving with my spouse was not a good enough reason for me to be able to draw unemployment for a system that I had paid into. Yeah. But anywho, that's a whole nother subject. But anyway, so just know that this Military Spouse Residency Relief Act is out there. There is one little button, there's one little box you have to check on the state tax return that will allow you to, that will have the system show the refund of your income taxes. And let me tell you, every system is different. So sometimes you got to look. I know last year, the system that I use, I had to look for, I promise you, I looked for 30 minutes to find this little box. Is the size of a pinhole that was on the tax program. But I did find it for the one this year, completely different place. So, if you're a military spouse, filing your taxes, or even if you have filed your taxes and you had to pay state taxes somewhere, you can file an amendment and get those taxes back, depending on whether or not it's going to be beneficial to you based on your home state. All right. So I really hope that helps you out. If you have any questions about your personal tax situation, there's a link in the comments in order for you to book a tax consult. And make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of my live notifications, my live videos. And I post these on YouTube as well. So if you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss anything as well. All right. So I hope this really helps you out. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.